Okay, so let me just interrupt super fast, whether you're live or in person. So it's just double checking. It looks like everybody that's here or on Zoom has taken their quiz. If you are curious, you can go back and click on it, see how you did. We will go through that in a day or two once I get everybody to make those up. But you can go ahead and see how you did. And also, like I said, then just go back to Quizlet and we'll do a few more minutes on that. Again, if you came in late, just kind of heads up, one more preterite quiz on Friday over this last set of preterites that we're going to be working on all week. And you will see probably a little more vocab on there too. So just make sure you're keeping up with your Quizlet. Same words. So just make sure you're still practicing them. All right, carry on. What are we looking at? If I'm looking at dormir, what are we changing to in the sandal forms? The O changes to a what? Clase, thank you. It's just right in front of you, like you. All right, so you have dormio and dormieron. If you have pedir and servir, both of those E's are going to change to I's, right? So you have pedio, pedieron, servio, servieron. So again, just little spelling changes to kind of clean you up. All right, our main focus now this whole week is going to be these 4 sections of words. So here's what we're going to do. Here's how I suggest you learn these, and then we're actually going to do a little kind of self-check-in to see how you're doing today and tomorrow, and then we'll be ready hopefully by Friday for you to know all of them. So here's what I suggest we do. I suggest you memorize them by group, and then I suggested that you learn what form. What's highlighted? What form? Nope, what's highlighted here? Not the L form, but the O form. Right? So look, all of these, I have the first one highlighted. That would be the yo form. So my suggestion is we're going to practice these in a minute. I'm going to have you write them out and see how we're coming along here. All right. And if you just memorize them by category, it's a lot easier. So today we're going to work on the yo forms. All right. Then we're going to work on, oh, well, they all have the same endings. So once you get the yo form and you know all the endings, boom, you know all the words. I do not want you to memorize 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 words. Okay, no, nobody wants that. You memorize the yo forms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the pattern. All right. So that's the way to go about it. You got to do it my way, otherwise you're making yourself a lot of work. All right. So let's check out our spelling here and let's go through them. And then I've got a little video I'm going to show you. The guy does a little cucaracha song to help you hopefully start getting them stuck in your head. All right, so the UV group is called the UV group because it has what 2 letters in it? A U and a V, all right? So we've got repitan, estuve. Let's try that again, ready? Estuve. One more time, everybody, estuve. And we've got tuve. Now, andar is actually one of your vocab words, so I probably should have put it on here, but I didn't. All right, but just so you know, andar is to what? To walk, all right? It's one of your vocab words because you can walk in la naturaleza. If you want to say I walked, what would it be, yo? Anduve, right? So it also has a UV in it. So estuve, tuve. All right, next up, let's look at our U group. All right, repitan, pude. So I'll do it one more time. Pude, supe, puse. Good. They all have a U in their stem. All right. So how do? You just got to memorize them. You just got to practice them. All right. Now, luckily for you, we already did this guy. What's the yo form of hacer? Ise. They all have I's in them. Repitan. Bine. Not bine. Bine. And quise. Okay. I want it. All right. Then we got 2 more. These have J's in them. They're in the J group. Repitan. Traje. And dije. All right. So there are a few other little details, like remember we talked about the ESO here is a little funny with the Z, and then we talked about down here, what letter are we ultimately going to drop, right? You'll notice these all have ieron, they have I's, and down here they don't. But again, let's just focus on the yo forms. Then we'll get the pattern, then suddenly we'll have all these verbs, all right? So that's what we're working on. That's what I want you to be thinking about. I'm going to show you a quick little video. Little song to just hopefully kind of get it stuck in your head, and then we'll kind of see where we're at. All right, so it is part of your daily, your current lesson, but I'll just play it for you. So I try my best to throw in songs. It gets harder as we get to third year because there aren't as many songs to use for teaching purposes. They're cheesy, that's the point. But if you can get them in your head, and I'll play it every day this week, so you can try and get it in your head, then suddenly it makes it easier. All right, so everybody get your focus. Kendall, thank you. All right, here we go. Except we can't hear you. All right, hold on. What if it's because I'm, oh. All right, starting over. Go.
Remember at least the ill forms of these common irregular verbs and predicates. I feel like we could remember the rest of the forms more easily if we knew at least the ill form.
Like I said.
Si se puede. There is a way. I can't take credit for this, but I have always found it helpful since I learned this little song in high school. I hope it's helpful for you too when you're trying to remember how the irregular verbs are in the predicates. It's the tune of La Cucaracha. Here goes. Tener estuve, estar estuve, ir es fui también ser, poner es puse, poder es pude, traje es para traer, hacer hice, haber hube, sabe super querer quise, decir dije, venir vine, me olvidar vino acentos. Tener estuve, estar estuve, ir es fui también ser, poner es puse, poder es pude, traje es para traer, hacer hice, haber hube, sabe super querer quise, decir dije, venir vine, me olvidar vino acentos. Una vez más. Tener estuve, estar estuve, ir es fui también ser, poner es puse, poder es pude, traje es para traer, hacer hice, haber hube, sabe super querer quise, decir dije, venir vine, me olvidar de no acentos. Notice how I give the yo form of all the verbs so that you can figure out the rest. There is one slightly odd one also that you might have noticed. In one of the lyrics it says, haber hube.
Oh, we're not going to worry about this one.
Haber is the verb that we get in the present tense, I, from.
It's true.
There is or there are. Now in the predicate for there was or there were, we would say hubo. Now for the rhyme of the song, the person who created it put ube.
I don't think there's anything else on that one.
But if you knew that,
we're not going to worry about ube. It's true, ubo, but we're going to not. That's not on our list that we need to worry about. All right, so again, that is there for you. I will play it a couple times. Again, I know it's nothing special, but as soon as you get it in your head, then that might help you remember some of these guys. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Saquen una hoja de papel. Vamos a escribir un poquito. Saquen una hoja de papel. Papel. If you're online, get your paper out. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a little hint and see if you can start getting some of these yo forms. Because that's the way to do it. You just gotta make yourself time, you gotta make yourself up and down. All right, so I'm gonna start out giving them to you in categories. All right. So if you've got out your notes, I actually want you to just turn it over for a second so you're not looking at it. It's not a quiz yet. It will be eventually. And I'm gonna try and give them to you kind of in a little category. All right, and again, I want you to jot them down. I guess if you want to type them, you can, but I would rather you just jot. There's just something about just jot it down real quick, see how you do it. All right, so find a place. I'm assuming if I don't see paper out that you're going to type. So you've got a little window open to type. See, Braden, yes, you're typing back there. Connor, yes. And Kendall, you're going to type it? Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the group. Okay, so I'm going to say this is the UV group. All right, I'm not always going to do that, but as we start this, and again, don't look at your paper, and let's see what you can do. So I'm going to give you the UV group, and I'm going to tell you I would like you to try to write down just the yo form of two verbs. It's estar and tener. All right, so take a second, see if you can remember. I'm giving you a hint. I'm telling you it's a UV. All right, estar and tener. So take a minute, see if you can jot either or both of those down. Remember, that's the one I said andar is in there too, but I won't make you write that. Okay. So next up, we'll go in the same order they did, is the U group, all right? So we've got, let me see, we had poner, we had poder, and we had saber. Another one? Nope, just the three. So those have a U in them. Maybe you know some of them, maybe you know none. I don't know. That's fine. If you don't know any yet, then you're going to see that you don't know them yet. All right, next up is going to be the I group. You should know hacer because we already had a quiz on that, right? And then you've got querer. And did I give you another one? Oh, yeah, venir. And then finally, we have the J group, where we had traer and we had decir. So we do that today and we do that tomorrow, and then I don't know, then I do see it. Then we do it on Wednesday, Thursday I won't see you, and by Friday we got to know these. All right, so give it some thought for a second here. Do you know some of them? Do you know none of them? Do you know all of them? I don't know. All right, on all these irregulars, are there any accents? No, no hay acentos. All right, so you don't need accents. They all end in the same letter. What do they all end in, class A? The letter E, or in Spanish, A, right? And hopefully, like I said, if you learn them in their little categories, that will help. All right, so if you're at home, you're still doing the same thing. See what you know here. All right, so we're gonna go through them. I guess I'll write them on the board, although you have them on your notes, but that's okay. Let's see what we got. So how many people know a couple? Couple? Yeah, maybe? All right, well, we'll see. All right, again, we're gonna keep going through them until you do. So these are the kinds of things you just gotta keep reviewing them. All right, so if you need to look at your notes, look at your notes. You can flip it over, see what you know. Circle the ones maybe that you don't know, or circle the ones that you know. I don't know how many you have. And let's see what we got. So, estar en tener. What do we got? You want to give me estar en tener? ¿Qué tenemos? ¿Qué? Okay, so we got estar is estuve. What was it? And what? Tuve. There it is. Estuve and tuve. Okay, you'll notice they both have a UV in them. Estuve and tuve. Good. All right, let's go with the U verbs. Somebody want to give me the U ones? Maybe you didn't get them, just look at your paper and then you can still volunteer. Somebody want to give me the U verbs? Alejandro's going to do it. Go ahead, Alejandro. Poner, it doesn't have an N in it.
Oh.
It's okay, keep going. What's poder? Okay. You're close. Look, you want to look at it? Supe. All right, and then what are we missing here? This one's the weird one. There it is. Yo puse. All right. Next up, let's do some I verbs. You should know at least one of these, and then maybe the others kind of flowed, Brandon. Iste, quiste, and vine. Good. And finally, we got some J verbs. What do we got? J verbs, J verbs. Who's got them? Go ahead, Hillary. Okay, traque and dije. Traque and dije. All right, again, you got to organize them in your head. You got to learn your yo forms. I won't even bring up the other forms today, but that's what we're working on. Okay, what would I do if I were you? I would quiz myself. Okay, cover them up. Can you do them now? I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to cover them up in a minute. Did you write them down? Yeah, we got them. Online people, you got them? All right, I'm going to erase them. We ready? All right, how do you say it? I brought. Clase yo. Traje. What is it? Traje. I said. It's got a J in it. Dije. What's this one? Traje Dije, traje, dije. That's what I'm saying. Just do a little repetition. All right, look at these for a second. They all have eyes in them. All right, here they go. All right, what's out there? Ise, what's querer? Quise, vine. Vine. It looks like vine, right? That we say vine. One more time, what do we got? Ise, quise, vine. All right? It's just a matter of memorizing. Usually there's like something else we can do with it. First step is we got to memorize it. Let's try here. Traje, dije. All right, these guys all have U's in them. Look at them. Using them. Here we go. All right, poner, puse, poder, pude, supe. That one's weird because I know you think it has a B in it, but it doesn't. Supe, supe, supe. All right, what if I mix these up a little bit? What's querer? Quise, saber. Supe, poner. Puse, hacer. Hice, decir. Dije, I don't know what I haven't done, so let's go over here to our UVs. How do we do estar? Estuve and tuve. What are they? Estuve, tuve. Estuve, tuve. What's poder? Pude, what's hacer? Hice, what's decir? Dije. All right, can we get there by Friday? Okay, now the other thing we do have to do are our endings, right? So if I wanted to write out our endings, we're doing the E, right? But look, iste, o, imos, hierro. Are those super hard? No, do they look a lot like kind of what we've been doing? Yeah, these two kind of look like ARs, and then these three kind of look like ER and IR. So it's kind of like you mush them together, is what it is. I know. All right, so listen, here's what I'm gonna do. I want to actually give you a little bit of time to maybe do your homework. So most of you have not turned in, and the few of you that have, I will talk to you in a second here, but most of you have not yet turned in your homework that we started or I gave you on Friday after the quiz. So I figured why not give you 10 or 15 minutes, take care of it now. All right, it is all about that plus some of the other projects. So if you want to pull it up,
What homework did you give us after the quiz?
yes, this is from what we did after the quiz. I'll show you, it's just going to show you. So if you've been to class, it's in your packet. If you'd rather fill it in here, and then you can take a picture of it and submit it, that's fine. Okay, it's just basically a ton of irregulars. All right, we've got regular verbs, then you've got dar and ver, ser and ear. So this actually, the front was stuff you've already been quizzed over. And then the back, look, is this. So your choice, if you've been to class, is you're welcome to do it by hand and then take a picture of it and submit it. Or if you've not been to class or you'd rather do it online, you can see if you go to your current lesson, it should be there. It says preterite practice from Friday. You can click on the document, you can submit it there. And I said for submission, you can either you can do an upload, or you can just write number 1, bebí, dos, salió. All right, so you can just give me the one-word answer if you want to type it directly on there, up to you. All right, so I'm happy to give you your last 10 or so, oh, actually more than that. 10, 5, 10, 15 minutes. I forgot this class is super long. Well, let's see if we need it. I'll give you some time to work on it. I'm happy to give you 10. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I know what I was going to do. Let me remind you, some of you have still not turned in your textbook activities from last week. So if you finish this, maybe go back to your textbook. I think there were like 4 or 5 due last week. And I feel like only half of you have done that. That's what I was going to do. So you've got some extra time. Let's use it. This class is like 5 minutes longer, at least, than my 9th grade class. So use your time to get ahead. All right. I'm happy to answer questions if you have any. Otherwise, make sure you are either working on this or your textbook stuff.